This is Cheryl Todd with Gun Freedom Radio here at the 2019 SHOT Show in fabulous Las Vegas. And I just had the absolute honor of being able to listen to author Greg Stube give a talk at the Executive Management Seminar right here at SHOT Show. Now it takes place at the same time as Industry Day at the Range, and so sometimes you think it's a little hard to choose between going out and shooting great guns or staying in where it's nice and warm and listening to great speakers, but I'm going to tell you I made the right decision this year by staying in and coming to this seminar. It was the first time I'd attended it. Now, Greg Stube is the author of this book right here, Conquer Anything. He is a motivational speaker. He's an advocate for really just being the best human being you could possibly be. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I'd like to think that way. And I like to say tag you're it, because a lot has been sacrificed for the freedoms we have. And it's a good question to ask, are we living up to that? With the freedom we have and the life we have ahead of us, are we doing what we can and should with it?
Oh man, that is such a huge question and such a huge challenge to all of us, because a little bit about your backstory, and you'll be able to tell it much better than I will, but you're a Green Beret, right? You were combat injured Green Beret.
I had a career in the Army, and about 19 years of it were in the Special Forces. So as a Green Beret, conflict was our profession. Peace was not. We looked for peace, but through those trials, whether it's training for that or getting into the thick of it, you start to learn about yourself, and you start to learn about team dynamics, and you learn things about leadership that you can't learn in more peaceful environments. So I was honored to have the opportunity to fight for America, for freedom, for everything that I believed in.
Thank you for your service.
And witness the culmination of that training. Face our enemies, fight hard, and come home alive to a grateful nation. So I have a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely. So when I say you were combat injured, we're not talking about a paper cut here. Like, you had a serious, not even just one injury. Could you talk just a little bit about what it was you had to not only physically overcome, right? Because when you've been the tough guy, you've been the guy that can, knock down walls, and now you've got to go into recovery mode. That's a whole different mindset, right?
Yes, and if we're being realistic, if we're being honest with ourselves, we're not tough. And I found that out the hard way. Many people throughout our history have been hurt to degrees far worse than me, and they were killed. And so I can't really lift up my level of injury as though it's a badge of honor, but I can say that I learned a lot in having to live up to the commitment that I made. When you write a blank check to serve your country, it could mean up to and including your life. And I got to come home alive. So I'm not going to complain about some of the injuries, because you can get hurt walking your doggy.
Well, that is true. And you are very humble about what it was you went through. But I think that it is important, and you do such a great job of it in your book, Conquer Anything, to kind of take us through your story. That so often, these coming of age type, you can do it sort of stories start out where somebody's in sort of a lowly position, and then they, end up being, Rocky on the top of the stairs. Yours was almost in the opposite, right? You were Rocky on top of the stairs, got knocked to the bottom of the stairs, and then it was in that place that you learned a lot about yourself. You learned a lot about your fellow man. You learned a lot about being reliant on other people, and that is what truly elevated you and what can elevate all of us.
Well, thank you for saying that. My whole fight would have been easier if I had been humble from the start. When you say that I was like Rocky in the beginning and then fell from grace, you're not wrong. But being Rocky in the beginning wound up to be a house of cards. It was only my false perception of myself. And I think if we want to be strong, if we want to inspire, then we should be as small as we can. And if I had been smaller, recognizing what it is I'm fighting for instead of giving myself so many attributes and so much credit for being a warrior, if I'd put more love and compassion at the front end, then I would have made a better match of what service really is.
Well, and then it kind of brings us back to the tag you're it mindset, because if you are truly serving, then that is paying something forward, passing something forward, doing what you can to impact those around you. And you were talking a lot about the importance of our support team, and that even though you were, the Rocky on the top of the stairs, the Green Beret out in the field, the way that you portrayed it, you basically said, well, what am I if I don't have somebody to drop in some ammunition, some food maybe, right? And then when you were injured, and I mean, that story is amazing because the guy that came to your aid was somebody that you weren't super fond of previously, right? I
Right.
mean, even that's a humbling thought.
I had allowed petty little perceived differences to overcome absolute commonalities. That's a big mistake. We're never going to have a good team, a strong team like that. So you're exactly right. I should have given more credit to the people who have always supported me to greater degrees than I've supported them. And I need to be more humble and be grateful for what I have.
Well, I experience you as very humble now. So, I think oftentimes it does take us going through a journey in order to really be, self-actualized is a psychology term, but, to be more of what we really can be, right? Strip away those layers of pride and verbosity, or what's the word I'm looking for, but to really get down to the human who's impacting another human.
Yes, we need to be honest and intimate with each other. We need to have the kind of intimacy that will allow us to confess our limitations and admit that we make mistakes and that we're fragile and that our feelings hurt. We work so hard to create a perception that we're strong, and we wind up failing because we do need people. We do need love. We do need support.
So do. Which takes us to this pamphlet that you handed out. It's titled Ready for Life, a Youth Development Program. And just talk to us a little bit about what is this? What do you hope for this program?
My hope is for the future. And the future of anything depends on the younger generation. I've beaten myself up trying to figure out a new way to say it, but the children are our future. There's not another way to say it. And so we all talk around the campfire about how things are messed up or they're not right. Well, we got the talking part done. It's time to do something, and so I developed a curriculum called Ready for Life. And it gives kids a greater toolbox, a greater way to become great citizens and great people with capabilities and capacity to be great citizens. And instead of demanding respect because they were born simply, they can earn respect and become productive and become someone in their immediate environment that people turn to, become a leader, be more prepared. And that's what I want to give them. I don't think their confidence should be a fraud. I think they should be confident because they're competent.
Yes. See, that's so important. And again, we've prefaced all of that with, if all you are is, that outer layer of, tough guy, then you're not talking to our youth. They're not going to be able to connect and impact their peers in the way that they really can if they are more humble and if they are more service driven. And one of the other things that I really liked that you said is that we've gotten, I think, where it's so easy to just kind of bash the millennials, right? It's like, well, the future is just all disaster because of those darn millennials. Well, are we doing them or doing ourselves any favors by constantly repeating that? Or maybe we should give them some tools.
Every generation has been harsh on the younger generation, and it's time that we reach out to them for the value that they propose. If we acknowledge that they love freedom just like we do, they love their families, they love the same things that we love, and we're wrong if we're not in the business of putting ourselves out of business and give them everything we've got.
All right, well, we've got to wrap up, but I definitely want to not only encourage everyone, do yourself a favor, pick up this book or listen to it on audiobook. This guy is actually the narrator, so that's how I experienced it, and it's something special when you're hearing the author tell you in their own words, in their own voice, their story. And please tell folks how they can not only get this book or listen to it on audio, but also how do they follow all that you do? Because you're a motivational speaker, you're all kinds of, you're just busy.
Well, I'm really wanting to expand the Ready for Life Youth Development Program. And so I know that all of us are concerned about it, but we need to find ways to turn it into a vehicle that actually prepares young people for a greater tomorrow, the kind of tomorrow that we'll need in our senior years. I'm also very active in leadership consulting now and building team dynamics in small businesses and large ones. I'm very interested in taking this conquer anything perspective so that everybody can build their A-team and we can truly take lessons learned from the battlefield and benefit the country that we fight for in the first place.
Fantastic. And where do we find you, like in that digital world out there?
Sorry about that. It's on Amazon, and it's on. You can get a hardcover, you can get the Kindle version, and you can get an audiobook. It's also at Barnes & Noble. If you go to my website, gregstube.com, you'll find everything there too.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you so much for your service to our country. And thank you for taking this time with us here today.
Thank you for Gun Freedom Radio.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, much more coming up from SHOT Show 2019.